Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooklyn. For today's video, I'm going to be doing another episode of 25 for 2025, a series where I attempt to read these 25 books in 2025. I've now read 7 of the 25 books for this challenge. How this challenge works, I will pull a book from this jar, then I will have to acquire it, whether that is from my bookshelf, on my Kindle, or going book shopping. We have the jar. Honestly, at this point, I have no clue what to expect. I really don't want a fantasy. I have a feeling I'm gonna get one. At this point, we just have to trust the jar. I really dug for that one. I'm scared. Let you guys see first, of course. Darling Venom. This, I believe, is a romance, but it's also tragic. It says, my first love ended in tragedy. My second began with his brother. You know what? So as you guys saw, I just picked Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. I have had this book on my want to read for the longest time. I've seen a couple videos of people reviewing this, and that's what's got me interested in this story originally. So I've downloaded it on my Kindle, and it has like 463 pages on the Kindle. This is the cover. I love that. The new cover is different, obviously. This is the new cover, but we love a good man on the front cover of these books. Oh my gosh, what a time. I wasn't reading when these were popular, but I am very excited to read this. This is kind of a romance. I don't know if it's tragic to start out with, but I feel like it's gonna be a really deep romance, and it's not gonna be like light and fluffy. I can't remember what one. I feel like I remember a book that had like a pact to end it together, and I can't remember if it was this one. So I will be checking with you guys periodically as I read this. That is the book that we'll be reading for this reading vlog. I am so excited, and I hope you guys are too. Let me know in the comments if you've read this book. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry. No, it's nothing, Ben. I'm sorry. You do that to sync your microphone and like film and stuff. I've learned that in my classes. I'm sorry, Ben. And Benny hates loud clappy noises. So I'm so sorry. I'm not doing it towards you. I didn't do it towards you. I'm sorry. Okay, so I have started reading Darling Venom. I started it while I was at the gym today on the treadmill. I'm on page 18. So I'm 5% through. My goal for today is to get to 163 pages. So far, we have met our 2 characters, Charlotte and Kellen, and they've met not in the best moments that you'd plan to meet someone. They both met each other on a rooftop where they were planning to end it. Basically, that's kind of like the synopsis or like the little intro of the book, where basically they meet each other, and then I haven't got to the part yet, but it says on the beginning of the book that they make a promise to each other they will check in with each other every Valentine's Day. So I'm interested in this. It's definitely not like a romance like I said it was when I initially drew the book. I always forget that it's like a tragic love story, but I am curious to see the point where we get to when she gets with his brother. As bad as that sounds, I'm ready for it. So yeah, that is my update. I will keep reading, and then I'll probably check in with you guys once I've read to 163 if anything crazy's happened. I can talk about this because it's mentioned. Kellen didn't make it, sadly. I'm kind of sad about that because I feel like we should have gotten more of Kellen's story. She really jam-packed it in like the first few pages. That was like the first 50 pages of the book, and I really think she put all the info that we needed in there. But I just wish we got more development of the characters and maybe their relationship that was just starting, but also like that's maybe like the tragic side of it. But it wasn't tragic to the point where it's like I feel for Charlotte, because they didn't really have a relationship. They were just starting to, and then it kind of stopped. Are you reading the book? Benny's in my book club, so he's also reading it. Thoughts? So now she was 18 when it all happened, and now she's 22. She's working as a literary agent assistant. Her boss is currently pregnant, and she wants her to go to the OBGYN because they're not returning her phone calls. And I have a feeling that's going to be Kellen's brother Tate. And this whole time, Tate's been painted as this like monster because he was keeping Kellen away from their dad, who's like, I don't think Tate really liked him. I'm very curious to see how this all goes. I have a feeling that's how it is going to play out. We shall see, but I just wanted to update. It was really sad though, read the part of Kellen, because you didn't want him to do that, but you knew it was going to happen. I'm currently on page 72, and dare I say I like Tate. Sorry, Kellen. Love you, but I like your brother more. We're getting a lot of Tate's point of view, which I really like about this book as well. It's like dual point of view. We got Kellen's point of view, we have Charlotte's, and now we have Tate's. And I really like that part of it because it gives us a deeper look into these characters as well. I don't know when this book was made or released. I need to look into it because they've already mentioned Harry Styles, Watermelon Sugar, and then he mentioned feeling like Joe Goldberg. So I feel like it's very current and up to date. I don't know how long that show's been out. And I know You was adapted into a TV show from the book. I thought this would have been published like way back, especially because like the man on the front cover, unless that was still trendy 5 years ago. I don't know. I'm enjoying this still so far. A lot of guilt from Tate, and we're seeing like a different side from what Kellen described Tate as. So I think it's really interesting to see how he's handled everything that's happened with Kellen. I think like the main gist of it is that there's two sides to every story. I think Kellen kind of like chose the path that he was on. As sad as it sounds, there was like a part in the beginning where Charlotte mentioned that Kellen chose to be weird, and that's kind of like Kellen chose to view life in a negative light because it just wasn't how he thought it should be, but he wasn't aware of the sacrifices and things his brother was doing for him, even if it felt like it wasn't helping him in any way. So anyways, but I am enjoying this. Hey guys, I wanted to check in. I'm currently on page 236, chapter 49. I am absolutely devouring this book. This book is taking over my whole life. I stayed up till 2 a.m. last night reading this book, and I forced myself to put it down. I had to go to sleep. I would have kept reading it until the sun came up. It's just so good. It's so addicting. There's just something about it. And I think the part that I like the complexity of the story and how we're told one story in the beginning with Kellen around. After everything happens, we're discovering more truth throughout the book, and it's revealing this larger story. In terms of my reading goal to page 163, the part that we ended at was insane. The concept of this story is very messed up and strange. I feel like telling people the description of the book, they're gonna be like, why are you enjoying this so much? It's hard to explain that Charlotte and Kellen had a relationship, but it wasn't romantic to like the full extent. So in my head, it makes sense for her to be with Tate. Anyways, that's just like my thought on that because I feel like I have to defend it. But I love the characters. Love Tate. Love that man. He's addicted. I like Charlotte. However, I will say her fashion choices I choose to ignore. She grew up a lot between the chapters when she was with Kellen to now, which I really like. I feel like the story's completely different from the first 4 years in the story to now. It's just so different. I just don't really like her clothing style, and I hate how it's like made a point of it. I don't know. It's kind of cringy to me. It's almost like when Autumn wore a tiara in If He Had Been With Me. Like, we kind of chose to ignore that detail of the book, even though it was like kind of important. I chose to ignore it. I just need them to also talk more about Kellen and what happened and just confront each other because they're both so stubborn. There's a fly on my camera. I also learned last night that Jacob Morgan was a narrator for this book. I would have absolutely devoured the audiobook if he did Tate. Sadly, he doesn't. I think Sebastian York does Tate, he's okay, but I love Jacob Morgan's narrating, so I was kind of sad. He was Kellen, if you're curious. But yeah, that's my rant. I'm done talking. I'm gonna go back to reading. Just know that I'm absolutely loving this book, and it is so good. And if you want to read it, check trigger warnings because there's a lot of topics in this book, but it is so good. And it'll definitely, your emotions will be going like this the whole time. I haven't cried reading it, but I've seen people cry reading it, and I'm like, I get it. I totally get it. So I have finished Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. I ended up rating this book 4 stars, which is so sad to me because it had such a possibility of being a 5-star, and I was really hoping it would. The concept of this book is truly really interesting, and if you're not a reader and you hear the description of this book, I think a lot of people would look at you like you have 2 heads. So I went into this very excited because yes, it's a sad book and it's a tragic beginning, but the way and the message of the story and the tension and the romance, amazing. And then at some point it just shriveled up and died. It truly disappeared. And if you've read this book and you know the scene where Charlotte goes in for her appointment with him, that's like peak tension. And then after, it really just dipped because we went and explored different plot lines, which was fine, but I really wish we honed in on the romantic plot line. Everyone in the story has really bad backgrounds of like tragic issues that have happened recently or in the past that still affect them. I think this book does a really good job too at emphasizing the process of grief and how it can impact someone with their relationships and how they view themselves or how they think that they deserve love or whether they're deserving of any love. I just really enjoyed that aspect of the book because everyone's grieving in life is different. Everyone's impacted in some way in what happened with Kellen and his storyline. line. It impacted multiple people, but it also brought them together in a sense. I also mentioned this earlier. If I didn't, I guess I'll just mention it now. The contrast of life and death in this book, and how there's a constant conversation of women giving birth, women trying to have children, failed pregnancies, just stuff like that, where you are faced with this world of women who are trying to bring life into this world. And then you start the book with someone who doesn't want to be in this world anymore. And it's sad and tragic. And there's just such like a contrast between the two. And I really enjoyed that aspect of the story, because Tate is so heavily involved in the side where people are so desperate to try and get pregnant at whatever age they're at in their life. And sometimes it's easier or harder for some people. And you could really see that in the line of work that Tate is. I think he's like I don't want to butcher it. I can't remember the like name of it, but he does like the OBGYN and stuff. The medical field that he works in, he's just faced so much with that. I just really liked that aspect of it. And I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but I feel like it was put in there for a reason, just to show how fragile and delicate and special life is. And then in the flip side, you have someone who did not see it like that and wanted to not be a part of it. I definitely feel like the character growth was there and then also disappeared at times. Relationship between Tate and Charlotte definitely was up and down. And there's definitely a part where that kind of made me uninterested in this book, because it just got to a point where it was exhausting. I feel like we were making no growth in anything. We would do something and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. And then we'd be right back to square one. We're acting like they hate each other. And I'm just like, let's like try to find some consistency here. I kind of just felt like the book dragged on for 100 pages when it didn't really need to. She did finish up a lot of the plot lines. She tied them up in nice little bows and gave us happy like conclusions for everything, or at least solved some of them. I did guess the plot twist of this book. It's not really that, I don't know. I have not watched any other videos of other people mentioning this, but throughout the book, there is this one aspect of the story that is hinted to throughout majority of the story. When it comes up in conversation, the whole time I'm reading it, I'm like highlighting stuff. I'm like, this person better come forward and be honest. Like, I know what it is. I know the answer to this. I know what happened. And we don't get anything till the end of the book. I reached the end of the book, the epilogue, and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I just going insane? Like, was I just assuming something that wasn't happening? The last like couple pages, the whole thing's revealed and I got it right. I like that aspect of it. I don't know if it was very obvious for some people or if it just wasn't at all, but my brain was working over time when I was reading this, and I was trying to like connect the pieces and make the story like happy at least, you know, and just figure that out. I did really enjoy this book. I would definitely recommend it if it is something that is interesting to you. Definitely check out the trigger warnings, because it's really heavy topics in this. It's a very sad book. There is romance and tension, but that's not, I wouldn't say, the biggest plot line of it. I think it's like the overarching goal, but there's other things in life that get in the way of that one thing. That is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog. Thank you again, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye.